everything about us?
Well, you can't hide anything.
Yes.
Right now, we're having the interview. I'm pretty certain that everything is very well documented. You know, it's just a matter of whether they have an interest in it or not. You know, so you don't have any privacy, and especially when in the electronic era, every transaction you do, every phone call, every hotel place you stay, every person you meet, every face, it sounds like a song, they'll be watching you.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to fear, you know. This is the important thing, is stop being afraid of everything.
Yeah.
Because that fear is, today what we need to focus on is the opposite of fear. It's to look forward and be happy about this baby that I spoke of that's being born, and celebrate the change and realize that there's pain involved in this change. And these black factions and such, these dark operations, they are very weak. They're very weak and powerless.
Really?
Yes, they're very weak, especially if you realize, if you could understand that that we're living in a galaxy full of worlds and people like you and me, basically, that have gone through the same experience as the people here on Earth, the same experience long ago, and this continuing thing, and they already know what's going to happen, but they're watching this change happen now, and they're supporting it and helping gently and quietly behind scenes. And if you are aware of that, then you don't have anything to be afraid of.
Why are you so sure of that?
Because I've met so many of these people.
Tell us.
I've met these people even before I worked, you know, and for other reasons which I'd rather not explain on video right now, because of where I come from as well.
Where do you come from? But can you tell us if the first contact is close, as they say a lot of people? The first contact with this.
The first contact, I think, that's planned is not a real contact. The plan is a fictitious threat. But this fictitious threat, if you see UFOs and they're mechanical or such, the highest probability is that, especially if they look like a threat or an enemy. Just realize that's only temporary, and they're not from another place, another planet. They are created enemy as part of the government operations.
So you confirm the secret government has these tools, they
have the technology and tools.
This technology.
They've had for a long time.
Yeah.
But I mentioned the report from Iron Mountain, which many people say is just science fiction. It's not science fiction, because that material, the same material, was handed to me in a meeting in Tucson, Arizona in the 1980s.
Directly?
Yeah, directly at a meeting, yes. A government meeting that I went to.
You read
and
it?
It was a surprise to me, because I didn't know what the nature of the meeting was. But we were flown to Tucson, Arizona, and stayed at a hotel room. And then we got together, and at the end of the first meeting, they handed out the report from Iron Mountain, but not in book form, but in paper format. And that's where I first learned of the plans from the Rand Corporation.
You are one of the first persons I know that confirms the Iron Mountain inform.
It is. I don't have the paperwork anymore, but it was almost. Close, or almost exactly the same thing as in the book that's now in print again.
So for you, the swine flu epidemic is just part of this plan?
I can't say. Epidemics are natural things. They're natural epidemics, of course, you know. But in my opinion, the swine flu is, in this case, this is a dangerous thing, but it's my opinion only. My preparation is to take vitamin D3, letter D3.
What's that? What's that?
A vitamin.
Vitamin, okay.
Vitamin
Okay.
D3, 2,000 IU, 2,000 international units every day, or to 5,000. The sun, for certain reasons, the sun converts in your skin, when it hits your skin, into vitamin D3, but because of the nature of the sun now and other factors, that won't work in this case. But for gripe, you call it gripe, or flu, any kind of flu, vitamin D3 will reduce your chances greatly of getting any kind of flu. Okay, so I recommend that as a supplement for other reasons too that have nothing to do with flu.
And the vaccine, do you recommend to
I
people
will not
to
take
put
the vaccine, and I told my family members not to as well. I told them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, not to do this. On the Project Camelot site, there's some documentation, I believe, that was from long ago that I talked about the flu, and this was before anything came in the news. So I knew this in advance.
You know that the American people, they are telling, there are some information, some gossips saying that the government is going to
I'll make it obligatory.
Making obligatory to the people to put it, you know?
Yeah, this of course is the plan, is to make it obligatory with heavy penalties and fines, you know. But I still won't take it. I will not take the vaccine, especially if it's forced, and I don't take flu vaccines anyway.
So, do you think that the secret government has already contact with other extraterrestrial beings, such as the Cetareticulian reptilians, on this kind of stuff?
I don't. When people talk about a secret government, first of all, I'd like to mention that the governments, like when we talk about the level of the president or the royal family or such, they don't have access to this information or knowledge, as far as I know. And this is what, this is what my experience has been, is they only can go through certain levels of security, and then the rest for touring, you know, for this is what we have, you know, and this and that. But so they're not aware of what's happening off-world, you know.
Yeah.
They have no communication with these people. So when you ask about secret government, I need to know what you mean by secret government.
Who has the power? Kissinger, Rockefeller? Who is in charge?
You have power. You're in charge of running the interview, and then so it's different levels of power and strength of power. I mean, and in each person.
So you don't believe this well centralized in 3 persons, something like that? Do you believe this, as there are some people says that there are a couple of people, of several people that has this power concentrated in?
Well, there are small groups that meet that do have power, including one that I mentioned in the Zurich conference that I don't want to mention again, 3-letter agency that isn't spoken about very much. But
dealing with satellites and so on, for instance?
Okay. But the thing is that ultimately they have their limits as to what power they really have. They want power, and they've been trying to have power for a long time, but in the next few years, they will completely lose all of their power very shortly.
Why?
Because of all the changes that are taking place and converging.